Hello everyone, welcome to day 152 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. We're starting as white, so e4. We get my favorite opening, the one I'm most familiar with. I could immediately just play queen b3 here to target this. They'd have to play this, which actually gives up. This actually doesn't work. It just gives a pawn with check. Queen b3 now seems very strong. a4 also seems very good. a4 forces a6. I'll just play a4 here. I can force the bishop away. I can also play queen b3 now, targeting this. Bishop out doesn't work, just loses a pawn to check. Pushing works. Pushing doesn't work. I think knight to h6 is the only move here. And then I'll be able to play d4, going after it straight away. Queen over also works. That just loses a pawn to check, so I can more than happily queen trade now that I'm a pawn up. Could strike the center here. I do like kicking the bishop away. Although I think d4 is protected twice, but attacked 3 times, so it's not possible right now. I'll just castle here. Having a knight here would be just incredible for my position. It would actually stop the king from castling as well. I could play d3, I don't have to play d4. d3 to open my bishop up. Castling now seems okay, but then I'm able to come in. Castling now is interesting. I have this move, which puts pressure on the position, but doesn't actually win anything. Knight g5 threatens knight e6. I think I'll just play d3 here. The knight is almost trapped. It just says if I push, it will just have... Pushing would be a blunder though, I'd lose my rook. I can't push it. I probably just play d3 and develop. This knight doesn't have to move yet. Play d3, develop my bishop. My opponent stops me from bringing the bishop, but that's okay. I can bring my knight now though. I don't know where to put my bishop, probably on this b2 diagonal, but the center is very close right now. Knight c4 doesn't actually do much. The bishop can just move back and it'll be safe. I'm up a pawn and it's the f-file pawn. My knights can't really develop at the moment. I really have to find a way. Okay, so that move seems... I don't have to take. Taking the knight takes. I can jump in here. Have 2 attackers on this. Taking knight takes. If takes, I take. If they take, I take like this. Maybe the idea is to push and undefend this, but I can take him myself. If knight takes, I can jump in here to attack this twice. And also attack the bishop, so... I guess this would be hanging. I could just defend it. This is hanging, so... I could actually push, although that would hang this. But push, they can't actually take. Push, they can't take. Well, they can take this. I'll just defend everything here. If they push, I take. Knight to c4 is a great move now. Attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn. Can't save both. That attacks this pawn. It's a good move. I could push this pawn. And if they take, take. If I push, there's 3 attackers on the pawn, but there are also 3 defenders. If they push, I'd take. Pushing seems reasonable. The knight would also have to leave. Pushing seems okay. They take. Take with the pawn or the knight now is the question. Taking with the pawn would leave this very weak. I have to take with the knight. I didn't want to take with the knight, but I think I'm forced to. I have knight to c4 next, like I did before, to put pressure. Okay, so my opponent just takes. I think there is this move. Then I just move. This knight is quite weak. I should probably take the open file with my rook. And the c file too. The knight comes in, it doesn't really threaten much. It does attack this, but I can always slide to c3 or to a3. I like sliding to a3 to open up an attack on the rook. a3 comes with a threat, but I probably don't want to capture if I push. And so here, but if I go to a3, I undefend this pawn. So I'll just go to c3 here to defend everything. I can't play rook e1 now, but the knight is quite strong here, but it's very annoying. But that's okay. The knight leaves. I could play g3 to have a square for my king. I can also play this. If the knight comes in, I have this move, which would trap the knight. So I play rook e1. If back, that's a blunder. I trap the knight. I could also have ideas of rook lifting and attacking this pawn after a push. Should be quite strong. Play rook e1. Knight here, I play there. I'm also taking the open file. Knight here, I get to attack the knight now, and the knight is almost trapped, only has the f4 square again. I think rook g3 seems strong here. The knight has to move back to f4. I'll play rook g3 to open up this push. And then the king would have to move into a discover check, which would just let me win material. Rook g3 seems strong. It's a good threat. After knight f4, which is the only move here. Knight f4 is also defended by the rook, so it's a good move for my opponent. Wow, I did completely miss this. The knight can take on f2 because of the rook. Well, but now I can actually pin the knight to the other rook. The check I take. Material is equal. The knight is pinned to a check. Could trade one pair of rooks and then push to force the knight away. I want to get my rook off this diagonal. I think I'll go for this trade. Although this trade does allow the rook to come in. So I want to play rook g3. There are no checks. I'm threatening to hit this. Threatening to push. There are no checks. The bishop can't do much. No rook checks. Knight f2 is very annoying, but then I just push. Although, actually, I can't push because this pawn is now pinned. So my idea of pushing the rook to g3 was bad. I probably have to develop my knight now first. And then move my king. Although king to h1 is an option, this bishop becomes very powerful after I push, so I have to be very careful. My king safety is very bad. The knight must move. Knight f2 actually seems very strong with two pieces defending it. My king is in a terrible position. Okay, so the knight actually blocks my bishop taking with check. I can't push because my king is very weak. I could run my king this way. I think just stepping my king out of danger is the right play. So king to the corner. The king to the corner does weaken my back rank very heavily. I think I develop my knight here. Just to support this. I did just blunder a fork. I blundered with knight f3 here. There's just a fork on e4. And once this move comes, I'm not sure what to play. After this move, I do not know what I play. I have to save my rook. Knight e4 is such a good move here. And my bishop will hang completely. I've blundered the game here. I think I lose a full piece. I just have to completely lose the bishop. And then my opponent will win this. I've lost the game here with this move. I completely missed knight to e4. Very, very thankfully, my opponent plays knight to d5 instead, which is far worse than knight to e4. They're attacking my bishop. I can't just develop my knight because the bishop's defended. And then go for this fork. I think knight e5 is the best move. Knight e5 threatens a fork, and also defends my bishop by opening up my rook. And yes, after this move they take and I take and the bishop takes. So here, I don't have a bishop and my rook's hanging. Then I take here. But then my knight would also hang. The problem with knight e5 is that if they take the bishop first, the bishop takes with a fork on my pieces. So knight e5 is not possible. I have to play rook b2. Bishop b2, sorry. Although bishop b2 hangs this, so I actually have to play bishop back here. This pawn is barely defended. Knight e5 here does not work. My knight must defend this pawn now. Could force the bishop away, but then this would be such a big weakness for the rest of the game. I want to activate my rook, I'm not sure how to. I'm definitely in a much worse position here. I am defending my pawns, but barely. Also taking this would come with check. c6 gives the bishop a way to reroute this way. Although c6 does weaken this a lot. After I play knight, I can't actually play. Or maybe I can play knight to d2, because if they took, I'd have this. But then, yeah, if I play knight d2, they can take here with check, which is the issue. I have to defend this pawn. I'd have to play rook up first, and then I'd have knight to d2, because if they took, I'd have this move, attacking both pieces. I'll play this move and knight d2, thinking of knight c4 to attack the bishop if they take. And if they don't take, I still play. If they don't take, I still play knight c4, just trying to pressure this pawn. I have to defend this from checks. My knight is very weak though, and this is such a crucial pawn stopping the check on my king. Also, if the bishop and rook ever line up on my king, I'm just losing the game. I think knight to d2 and c4 are good moves, especially if they take. I don't see how they defend both pieces. They take, I always just recaptured the rook. Although maybe I'm missing this knight jump after knight to d2, forcing my rook here. My opponent wants a rook trade. My rook is hanging. I could go up here, just trying to cause some trouble in the back rank, but so if we trade, the knight takes. We trade, the knight takes. I have to keep defending this. A trade would also not let me take there. Could anchor my rook in. Don't have to. But my opponent's threatening to take now, so I do think I have to take. I can kick the knight away, but then it goes here. I could look to try and attack this weak pawn with my pieces, but so I think I start by just developing my king. I can play this because of a knight. Knight here seems very annoying. It's also this move which just picks up the pawn. Wow, I completely missed this check. If I slide up, they take. I can't take. Although if they take, they have a bishop here, which is so annoying. Think my king is more active, but I'm not sure. So I have to develop my king this way. If they take, it comes with check as well. If to step my king up. I think I have to take this. I can actually go for this pawn because if they push, I take. They do take. I'm now down a pawn in endgame. I do like my idea of going after the bishop. Going after the bishop and going after d6, which would give me this pawn. So I think I do have to activate this knight as soon as possible. This move is also just a fork, but then I can slide up. But if I play this, they have this. But then I can counterattack, so if this, I just play this. Knight here, I play here. But, oh, them taking comes with a check. I'm completely lost now here. They're attacking this also. If I can anchor in my knight here, I think I go for the bishop trade. Bishop trade, lose a pawn, I come in. And I'm the one that can put my knight on this square. If they don't trade, I'm the one who comes in here. If they take, I also activate my king. I think before I jump in, I bring my king. I'm coming in this way. This is a symmetrical 2-on-2. This is a 3-on-1. But my king is the one that's more active. This pawn's defended. The knight is now hanging. I think bringing my king here is the right move. The knight can always defend. I think the knight has to defend this square. King in doesn't work, I have this move. They do have a check, but then I take. King b6 is my best move. I think they must play knight to d5, stopping me from coming in. And that's what they do. I'm not sure I have this move. I think this move seems very strong, stopping the b pawn from ever going forward. King over. I'm the one that can threaten checks, so I'm developing my knight here. If king over, I have this move. I think this check is much worse, because although I come in here, this check doesn't really give me any ways of attacking this. Knight to b6 is a strong move. If my opponent goes after my pawns, I'm always able to just cut them off, and if I had my knight on d2, the king would actually be completely cut off from my position. Knight in seems to be the best move. But actually knight in seems very bad, because once we trade... So once we trade, if we ever trade, so if we trade knights, this pawn will be the biggest problem for me. I'll never be able to win it. I'm holding this square twice, so if they push... Well, they can actually push. I think I could run my king now to attack these. This move doesn't work. I could play this, trying for this. If I run my king, they can be winning. My idea is simple, trying to get in here. So the b7 pawn, winning it would be huge for me. It would win me the game, but if not, I have to run this way. The knight goes there. That seems to be wrong. After this move, where do they go? They can give a check, but then I come in. And here if they move, I come in with my knight. Check, I just step up. Although, check does win this one. And I'd be down 3 pawns. And I'm not sure who wins this race. My king is more active, but I'd only have 1 pawn left. And that's what happens. This is defended by the knight for now. If I come in, knight there, I have this move. The knight must leave. Even though I'm down 3 whole pawns, my king activity is winning me this game. So I guess if they push, it's defended, but then I attack the knight. That is a fork, but if I push, I think I'm fine. It's the only way to defend it. If they step over, maybe I'd have this. This knight's very good in the middle of the board. Pushing seems good. King over. I have a check now. If the king steps here, there's just nothing for me. I'd have this move maybe. They can start pushing this though. The king has to step here, so king here. I can go back maybe. Check now lets me go back. So check now, if king here, I go here. But then they can start pushing, and it's very, very difficult. Check here, the king just steps here. Well, check here, if king here. I can win this pawn by being here. Or here. I'll give the check. I have this move to target this. Yeah, the king goes there. I could go the long way. So this just immediately attacks the pawn, which I like. Pushing's probably the best move here. Oh wow, defending is also a choice. So I can't take there. I'm trying to get here with my knight. The king is cut off for now. Maybe getting my knight here is the right move. To go for this. This seems like a plan. Playing knight f5. Leaving this, forgetting this pawn. Playing knight f5 to go for knight to d6. Potentially in the future. To target this pawn. They push now. Could go for this move. But if I go down here, I would have this move. I'm trying to win this pawn. Down here, if they push. No, that doesn't work. Here they push, so no. Here maybe knight f5 is too passive, it allows the push. But then I'd be able to play here. Knight here, push. I'd have this move. And they'd almost be out of moves, so if they push, I can waste a move, and if they push again, I'd have this. This is a very strong piece for my opponent. If I'm able to blockade though, so if they push and I waste and they push, I'd have a blockade. And then they'd eventually have to push this pawn. They push. This just hangs a knight, so not possible. This now, and if they push. But this now stops me from ever attacking this, so I think I just waste a move here. There is this. Oh wow, there's just this knight check, but the knight take, so no. If they push, I play this. My opponent's down to 3 minutes. If they push, I must play knight d4. And if they come over, I take. Well, I can't actually take, wow. I will come after the knight though myself. They do push. Have to play this now. Also, if they push, I'd have a check. Picking up this, but then they're always very much closer to promotion, so if they come in, they actually leave. Defending this. Oh, now I just go back. I could also play this. Knight back to the back rank to blockade seems like a good idea. The king eventually has to leave. And once the king leaves, blockading this way is also possible, but there's this move, which is the problem. Play this way to defend. If they push, I stay here. And if they come here, I come here. They push. I don't have to move anything. Knight c4 is good. Then I just waste another move. They can just take. Because they always promote, so. And I guess they can promote to distract and then take. Yeah, I'm very lost here. I am defending, but they promote. If the king moves, it's a blunder. King steps there to stop my own king. But I just keep playing this. Also promoting defends this. They take. Now I can blockade here. Is it better to blockade or take the piece? Probably blockading is the right move. Although then they just defend and I'm completely finished. I'll blockade just to delay. They have to play this. I can actually start to push my pawn. After king h6. King here blunders this. So how do I think I just play this. This is not blunder because we just simplify. Well, I'm the one that's coming in now. I'm not scared of any checks. If they push, I think I have to play here. Oh, they just cut me off. That's a good move. I do have this. If they push, I come in. But then they take. So here they push. Here holds this promotion. I can't actually come in. So here if they push, I play this. Here they push, I come in. If they push, I come in. If they don't push, I play up, king up. Although I can't play king up because of the knight. They can never actually push now. They give a check, but that loses this pawn. Oh wow. That's a great move, to be honest. Forces... Oh, I can't defend my knight. I think I have to take, and then if they promote though, I'd have a check. I can't drop my knight back, that would win me the game. It's better to be down a knight than down a queen though, so I'll give up my knight. And the game will actually end in a draw if they go after my pawn, so I'll offer a draw. They play king up, so will I. They give a check, that doesn't do much. They give a check. And we get the draw. So, an insane game with 65 moves. Let's look at this game. I played it on 80.8, my opponent played it on 80.4. I had one blunder this game and 4 mistakes. My opponent had a miss and 3 mistakes. My opponent had a brilliant move. I had 3 great moves, they had 4 great moves. I played like a 1600 and so did they. I was completely lost at one point, but my opponent missed something. I was better in the opening, but I gave away my advantage. And we drew the game in the end. So e4, we get the Italian. That loses a pawn to check, so I knew I was winning here. I can take the queen trade, just keep developing. Bishop b2 was very weak, I should have developed my knight to go after this pawn probably. Pinning isn't the best. Then I can leave. I try the rook pair. This is a blunder, gives e4. And my opponent, very, very thankfully, played d5 instead of e4 with their knight. I think knight e4 just wins them the game. My best move's bishop e1, giving up the rook. Wow. Just giving up the rook. Down 4.5 on evaluation. Knight f3 was a blunder. Luckily for me they missed it. I'm forced into a trade here. It's my only option. The check is good. So I should have developed my knight here. I didn't see the idea of this. Maybe going after the bishop, but if the bishop moved, I guess I'd have ways to attack this, so. Very weak move with my knight. This was a mistake with the knight because of this fork. I chose to just trade bishops. My king is very active here, which is good for me. A5 is the best move, stopping this from ever moving. And I should have jumped my knight in. Wow, I missed that this would attack this. It would also let me play here, which would pick up the pawn. So this threatens this check. The best move is g5. No, the best move is g6, stopping me from winning this. Instead, I bring my king this way, which just complicates the game incredibly. And these knight moves weren't actually that bad. And that's a big mistake, it gives me a tempo to come in. And I should have played knight to b3 to stop this from ever pushing, and also to stop the promotion. Instead I played knight to e2 here, which was a big mistake. What did I miss? I guess they're just able to connect all their pawns, and then I can't do anything. So knight to b3 was my only move here. And I wasn't actually completely lost here, I had some chances with my knight. Sacrificing the knight is a great move, because if I take this knight, promotion comes, so I can't accept the trade. The best move is actually to take. But I thought I'd be down the queen here. So this makes no sense, they just queen. And I'd be completely lost. There'd just be this move. So many checks on my king. So I can't accept the knight. I can't take it. Instead I go into this, which is much better for me. So I'm not sure why the computer tells me to take here. And this is just a draw. After this king move, there's no way they can't defend their pawn. There's nothing they can do. So I come in and this is just a draw. So that was a crazy 70 move game. That's it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.